Hello, I'm Mike Gore, and welcome back to my perfect playthrough of Pokemon Red and Blue for the Game Boy. And I'm just gonna go straight for the chase here because we are heading down to the power plant, where we will hopefully catch our first legendary Pokemon in the process. And by hopefully, I mean we will. Anyways, last time I was able to obtain our 7th badge, which was the Marsh badge from Sabrina. And even though this means that we've unlocked the final gym, we're going to go ahead and knock out 2 legendary birds with one episode, so to speak. And the reason why I started with this one is with the power plant over Seafoam Islands. Well, it's literally because it's right there. There are some Pokemon for me to catch, and it gives us something to do, so we aren't waiting forever. And it's kind of interesting just how well in sync Red and Blue are so far. Both games running into a level 20 Pikachu that we happen to catch our very first try. But all that's about to change after this. When several of these Pokemon gather, their electricity could build and cause lightning storms. So Blue's gonna go on ahead because Blue still needs to catch a second Magmar. After pick up the... Oh, look! Electabuzz! Electabuzz is the version-exclusive counterpart to Blue version's Magmar and can only be found in Red's power plant. So, this is the only instance of version exclusives being having completely different locations from one another. Now, I have to catch 2 Electabuzzes, and the reason why Blue version is gonna move on ahead after this is so Blue can have time to catch the second Magmar. Normally found near power plants, they can wander away and cause major blackouts in cities. So I still need to catch the second Electabuzz, and I also need to catch a second Magmar from Cinnabar Mansion. I actually forgot to do this in the Cinnabar Island episode. However, because I'm planning on entering Seafoam Islands in this episode, as well as battling all the remaining trainers along the sea routes, it's not a huge loss to do this first try. And something worth noting is I'm going to switch train Magikarp off these Voltorbs and Electrodes. And what that will do is allow Magikarp gain just enough experience points to evolve. And, alright. Now, Blue does not have Electabuzz. Instead, Blue version actually has access to Raichu. However, after this, I want to be able to keep the Pokemon captures completely synchronized between Red and Blue versions going forward. Usually found in power plants, easily mistaken for a Pokeball, they have zapped many people. So Blue has caught the Magneton, and there are 6 Voltorbs and 2 Electrodes. I'm going to capture the second Electrode though. And the reason why I'm not catching the first Electrode here in Red version is because all the first 6 Voltorbs and the 1 Electrode are basically all clustered together. The second Electrode is all by itself, so it basically saves time on switching. Having said that, going through this list, I realized, okay, I probably should use Blastoise in the lead. The reason being is because Blastoise is the only Pokemon that can even remotely damage some of the stronger Pokemon in this dungeon. So Red's pulled ahead for now, even with the +1 captures, but here, Blue's gonna pull ahead and basically never look back. Because we still need to capture this Magneton, and we also need to capture Magnemite. Note that the reason why I had my Magikarp gain the experience off the level 25 Voltorb and the level 29 Electrode in the previous episode, we took on Self Company, formed by several Magnemites linked together. They frequently appear when sunspots flare up. The reason for that was so I could gain just enough experience points to evolve off the 6 Voltorbs and the 1 Electrode here. My original plan was to use both Electrodes as well in the 6 Voltorbs as well, but then I realized that it still would not be enough experience points to evolve Magikarp. I actually thought about using... I actually did think about making use of the one last I left behind in Route 15, the one that's locked behind a ledge and carries a solo Clefairy. But the reason why I didn't do that was because I had to look for more convenient options because Magikarp's stats suck and I did not want to switch train unless I had access to self-destruct. So, yep. I'm going to go switch training here. So I'm just gonna switch train all of these Voltors and Electrodes. I think we're just about done with all the captures in red version. Blue's done, and now even though I could catch Raichu, I want to keep the Pokemon count exact from now on. Because Red does not have access to Raichu yet. We'll have to wait till Cerulean Cave before we get access to that Pokemon. Alright. Something I forgot to mention is that in Blue's playthrough, I actually had Blue's Blastoise get whittled down by Magneton, uses anti-gravity stasis and appears without warning and uses Thunder Wave and similar moves. And I literally had that Blue's Magneton whittle Blastoise down so I could feint it against one of these wild Voltorbs. The reason for this is because I didn't want to fight Raichu, and Magneton was the only other Pokemon that had access to Thirst Shock that could whittle Blastoise down on that well enough. But Red, the second, came naturally as I just had to battle the second Electabuzz, who did all the work of whittling Blastoise down for me. So I got my 2 Electabuzzes, one to keep, the other to trade. And with all out of the way, it's time to swap some of my party members around a bit. Turns out I didn't really need to do that. and the reward is, instead of needing to use an extra revive, I just need to use self-destruct strats on Blastoise, which saves some time. And resources doing all that. Anyways, Blue's done with all the switch training since Blue's Magikarp had evolved into Gyarados. So I put a repel on since I no longer need to worry about capturing anything else. But Red still needs to get to that point. And Blue's gonna capture this Electro now. And what I needed to do was manipulate a freeze hacks off of either one or two off the first Ice Beam, preferably. Followed by Thunderbolt for not very effective damage. In Gen 1 and Gen 1 only, Freeze only wears off if you use an Ice Heal, a Full Heal, or Full Restore, or you get hit by a Fire type attack. And Red's Magikarp has evolved into a Gyarados, and it kind of resembles the Red Gyarados from Gold, Silver, Crystal version, which is actually Gyarados' shiny counterpart. And Blue's gonna capture Zapdos now. And what I need to do is hit double Ice Beam with the freeze hacks. And it doesn't have to be turn 1, but it has to be before I will it all the way down to Red Bar here. And then I'm quickly able to capture it with a Pokeball, thanks to RNG manipulation. HP up. And I'm gonna heal at our house with Mom here. We're gonna take on the Route 21 trainers first in Blue version. Super Repel has worn off here. And I'm now gonna use my last Super Repel. It stores electric energy under very high pressure. It often explodes with little or no provocation. And it's worth knowing is that with Magikarp, with all my other Pokemon fully evolved, Dragonair is going to gain all the experience from all the remaining trainers for the rest of the game. This will help bolster it in time for the Elite Four. Dragonair used Thunderbolt. Use that Pokeball to capture Red Zapdos as well. And Blue's just gonna fight the Magikarp trainer. Legendary bird Pokemon that is said to appear from clouds while dropping enormous lightning bolts. And Red's Super Repel already wore off, which is interesting. I'm gonna head down to Pallet Town, just like Blue version. And as per usual, I did play Red version first, but though to be fair, the reason why Blue's so far ahead is because Red had to catch 2 Electabuzzes, while Blue needs to get a head start so he can capture the second Magmar. Good to see you. How's your Pokedex going? Here, let me take a look. Pokedex completion is 135 seen, 115 known. You even have the evolved forms of Pokemon. Super. Yeah, except for Dragonair and a select few that I tend to catch. So not only that, Blue's basically learned from its mistakes from playing Red. Red does not need a return to Cinnabar Mansion because Red's caught everything it needs in that place, whereas Blue hasn't. The reason for this is because I intend to make my next set of trades in the next episode. I won't be able to trade everything because I'm missing 2 trade evolutions. But there's exactly 12 Pokemon left that we need to trade for, so there we go. Big call. So if you just follow the exact routes I've traveled in Pokemon's Red and Blue, particularly Blue version, because that's the learn from mistakes one, you should be able to catch everything that you'll need. You'll be able to encounter every single trainer on routes 19, 20, and 21 just fine. So, there it is. Dragonair uses Thunderbolt on Seeking. Turns out it doesn't really matter which move I use on most of these water types, I should be able to one-shot them just fine with Dragonair. So I don't really know what else to say, because all this is basically just Pokemon battle. As we clear out the almost all of the remaining trainers that are loose and around all across the region. I will save 2 other exceptions for last, but you'll know what they are when they arrive. Who wants to fight? Red got hit by Rap because I thought that Dragonair was physically strong enough to one-shot with Body Slam. Guess I was wrong. But I do know that Dragonair is strong enough to one-shot Tentacruel with Thunderbolt. Alright, Blue made it. Blue cleared all of his trainers. So now I'm going to head to Cinnabar Mansion after this. First, I need to make some changes. Specifically to my item box so I could make room for stuff. I also need all the PP ups possible so I could bolster Dragonair with them. Ugh. Horndrill and Starmie. I think that Starmie's the only one I didn't feel super confident I could one-shot, even with Thunderbolt. So I used all my PP ups, one on Thunderbolt, one on Bislam, 2 on Ice Beam, and 1 on Horn Drill. I thought about using this room, but I didn't like that as an option, so I decided to move forward. So I just need to wander around for a bit until I run into Magmar. Oh yeah, I should probably put Blastoise in the front of my party. Since the Super Repel I worn off in Blue version. Oh, that was fast. I was able to run into Magmar with relatively little trouble. And I'm able to catch the second Magmar. Just in time for Red to potentially catch up. And I don't care if I keep running into pointless random battles in Blue version, because Red still needs to catch up. So in a sense, Red's not exactly behind Blue version. Actually still is behind Blue version, even though I had to take this detour to catch one extra Pokemon to keep it lined up with Red. Now, Red does something quite interesting. I thought about doing this in Blue version, but then realizing that I'm just gonna keep running to the Pokemon I just caught, I decided against it. Though it is interesting that I use this opportunity as a means to justify swapping boxes, so I think that was the reason why I did it. So Blue moves on ahead without using Max Repel. Red's Super Repel is still active, whereas Blue's isn't. But hopefully this isn't a super long route, so I don't have to worry about running to any random battles. Or if I do, it's not a big deal. I take this opportunity to hand all the PP ups to my Dragonair. As I said, it's one PP up each for Thunderbolt, Body Slam, and Horn Drill, and then 2 for Ice Speed. So Red is not terribly behind Blue, but not by much. Oh. Yeah, I'm untuckered out. So Blue is almost done with Route 20 East, and after that I will fly back to Fuchsia City so I could take out the last of the Clefairy. Oddly enough, this is the only trainer in either of these sea routes who doesn't use water types. All of his Pokemon are flying types. Or as these bird keepers like to call them, bird Pokemon. But then again, it says what Lance said in Pokemon Masters. Not all dragons are dragon types. And Lance specifically specializes in dragons, not dragon types. Yeah, not to be confused. Alright. And Blue's just gotta remain ahead of Red the rest of this episode. Probably by a good couple minutes, too. But I'm able to manip some ice beams out of this. I gotta talk to these swimmers who are all on the beach. I also gotta battle that first swimming in the water, because there's basically a 0% chance of me getting a random encounter on that lone spot. Alright. So Blue is not Red's not terribly far behind Blue. But because Blue is so better optimized than Red is, Now at the time I did not realize I could have just gone straight down and talked to that first one from the left. I assume the other center was a long-range trainer, close to it, but I was wrong. Now I do need to use my first Max Repel sooner rather than later, so... I decided to use it here so I could cut through the grass in Route 15. Of course, it's worth noting that Red started off with the remnants of the Super Repel already in effect. Whereas Blue didn't. However, I still need to use this Max Repel because I want to still be able to get encounters in Seafoam Islands, so I need the Max Repel to wear off faster. Or at least a lot sooner because I'm taking extra steps compared to Red version. Red needs the full benefit of Max Repel of its first Max Repel, so I could catch a particularly stingy 1% encounter, which in Red version can only be found in the top floor, again at 1%. I'll get to the specifics, but it has to do with version exclusive rarities. The return of those. In Red and Blue, Psyduck is the blue. Psyduck is more common. Psyduck and Golduck are both more common in Blue versions, whereas in Red versions, Slowpoke and Slowbro are more common. However, this is only. And then you have Krabby and Kingler in Blue version, or Seadra in Red version. Shelter and Cloyster in Red version. Staryu, Starmie in Blue version. I think I got that one wrong. I think it's Staryu, or is it the other way around? I don't know. I don't remember. I'm a little delirious. However, these are only version exclusive rarities. All 6 of these families are available. However, there are some peculiarities here. First of all, even though there's version exclusive rarities on what you can encounter in the wilds of Seafoam Islands, this does not translate to fishing encounters. So if you're speedrunning, doing a 100% co-op speedrun, you'll note that everything you need to catch that's available in Seafoam Islands is available in both versions of Seafoam Islands, except for Krabby. This is because you can still fish for Horsey in, you can still fish for Horsey and Seadra on the sea. Horsey in particular. Horsey, Staryu, Horsey, Staryu, and Shelter can all be fished for in the waters of Seafoam Islands, but not Krabby. Because of this, you have to find and catch Krabby somewhere else if you're playing Red version, because the Red version's Krabby is not available anywhere in the wilds in Seafoam Islands, and you cannot fish for it there either. So you have to fish it up in some place like Route 18 or the Safari Zone. But it also affects a Pokemon I need to catch in both versions. That's also available in in both versions in Seafoam Islands. However, Red's counterparts, version exclusive rarities, actually has Slowpoke and Slowbro as more common wild counters. Whereas in Blue version, it's actually Psyduck and Golduck. Now you can still catch both versions, both copies in their entirety, at greatly reduced rarities. So Slowpoke and Slowbro can still be caught in the wilds of Pokemon Blue version, but they are less common. However, Slowbro is 1% encounter in Blue version, whereas Golduck is 1% encounter in Red version. The big difference though is I can still capture Slowbro someplace else via fishing encounter. So I don't have to worry about catching Slowbro now. The same cannot be said for Golduck. Of the between Krabby, Kingler, Horsey, Seadra, Psyduck, Golduck, Slowpoke, Slowbro, Golduck is the only one out of these 8 Pokemon in either version of this game that cannot be caught via fishing. The only way to capture Golduck in Red and Blue versions is through random encounter on the field. And the best encounter in Blue version is at 4%. The other encounter is 1%. Blue version's Dragonair evolved into Dragonite. And, because of this, I have to capture Golduck at severely reduced, encounter rates, which can only be found on the top floor of Seafoam Islands in Red version, and only at 1%. I at least have opportunities of capturing Golduck at better odds on the lower floors, but I still have to be a bit tactical in how I manage to carry out these battles. Wow, I rambled on for a bit. Alright, Red version's Dragonair has just evolved into Dragonite, and I don't want to learn Hyper Beam. I absolutely do not want Hyper Beam in my move pool. And side note, this is literally the last level up evolution I need to perform in Red and Blue versions. Luckily for me, I don't have to worry about Gold or Silver or even Crystal. Well, I don't have to worry about Crystal versions. I did some research in Gold and Silver versions, and kind of all the experience points, there is just enough experience points needed to evolve everything. Even if I chose Chikorita as a star, as Chikorita gives me the fewest amount of experience points. Use that Poliwag. Use Body Slam. Alright, and because I ran out of Body Slams, I'm gonna swap over to Ice Beam from now on. when dealing with the low level ones. Because the low level single first evolutionary stage basic Pokemon, so to speak. So what I did here was I went down just low enough so I could run into the bottom trainer en route in the eastern half of Route 20. And I don't mind getting the trainer to notice me to walk up to me, because again, blue is still far ahead of red. Oh, I forgot, yeah, I don't have Body Slam anymore. Blue's Max Repel's about to wear off, so I should be able to get encounters at max efficiency in Blue version. Alright. So Blastoise is moving to the front of my party. Repel wore off, that's good. Now, the only Pokemon I really need to get on the top floor is Golbat, which is available at 5% rarity. Though, ideally, I could just put it off until Victory Road, where Golbat should be available at much better odds. In the post-game Cerulean Cave. So I'm following this boulder down the hole. And no encounters there. I want to encounter Dugong on the first basement floor because that's peak rarity, peak commonality here. So I don't need to catch Slowbro, but I need to catch Golduck. Golduck in red version is only available on the top floor at 1% encounter rates, whereas in blue version is in the second and fourth. No, the second and fourth basement levels at second basement level at 4% and the fourth basement level at 1%. So I'm taking the extra steps here because I want to be able to run into Golduck, which can only be found here on the top floor. Whereas Blue caught Seal as its first Pokemon, which is available across the entire dungeon, and there's the 1% encounter that I needed in red version. Red's Golduck is aggressive as hell. And here's our second capture in blue version, which is Golbat. often seen swimming elegantly by lake shores. It is often mistaken for the Japanese monster Kappa. So, I got the one encounter that I needed on the top floor, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. So I'm trying to manip encounters in red version, whereas blue is not. I'm sort of hoping I ran into Golduck or Dugong on these higher floors since they'd be available at 4% encounters, but no. Here's a second seal that I don't need. And here is a seal for red version. Gotta take the stairs here. And blue's gotta fetch a hidden Ultra Ball. The protruding horn on its head is very hard. It is used for bashing through thick ice. So, even though I still have 2 more Pokemon to capture, I'm gonna use a Max Repel here on these floors so I could bolster my chances of encountering one of them. Here we are on the 3rd floor basement. Hopefully we run into... Is it Dugong? Yes. In fact, both games ran into Dugong at the same time. Red's Dugong is the 4% Dugong on the 1st basement floor, whereas Blue's Dugong is the 1% encounter on the 3rd basement floor. Blastoise just got hit hard with growls and Aurora beams with a strength decreaser, and there was a hidden Max Elixir there. Stores thermal energy in its body. Swims at a say 8 knots evenly in intensely cold waters. So I ran into just about everything I need in red version already. I just need to catch the gold bat. And Articuno. And even though Blue's still missing its Golduck, but Articuno's there would just be getting in the way, so I'm just gonna catch that now. And rather than weakening it, I'm just gonna throw a Master Ball at it. Now, normally you would think use a Master Ball on the, why not use the Master Ball on the, save the Master Ball for Mewtwo at the end of the game. And the reason being is because of Ice Beam. There's 2 ways to fully drop the, a Pokemon's catch rate besides damaging. Putting it to sleep or freezing it gives us the best odds of doing it via stats effect. However, I don't have access to any sleep deducing moves. And Blue's about to be done. Once it strikes, it will not stop draining energy from the victim, even if it gets too heavy to fly. Blue used its 2nd Max Repel to bolster its chances of encountering Golduck and Dugong at 1% encounters. Whereas Red will be using the Max Repel to completely skip encounters altogether. So, And because Dragonite is quad weak to Ice type attacks, and Ice type Pokemon are immune to the freeze status. Rarely seen in the wild, huge and vicious, it is capable of destroying entire cities in a rage. I decided to sponge the Master Ball at Articuno. An extremely rarely seen marine Pokemon. Its intelligence is set and match that of humans. Okay, I forgot to mention that the detour I took in Red and Blue version to get the hidden nugget, I did so I could nab that nugget. The detour there's for the Ultra Ball. And of course there's an X Elixir on the way to Articuno. So I have one more escape rope left, which I plan on saving for the post-game dungeon. And I need to buy 9 more Pokeballs in order to ensure that I capture everything. The Saltium 20, which is Rage, and the Nugget. I probably should try to hold on to that Nugget, but I digress. It's now time to capture our final Pokemon, which is in Seafoam Islands, which is this Articuno. Or Splu's about ready to wrap things up. A legendary bird Pokemon that is said to appear to doomed people who are lost in an icy mountains. Alright, while Red heads down to Viridian City, I'm going to deposit the Max Elixirs. And that's it. Also, I'm going to try to drop off all of my remaining Pokemon in my PC. Particularly Paris, Lola the Jinx, and Gyarados, since I no longer need them. And Red is gonna head off to down to the Pokemon to sell some of our excess. I need Hitmonlee and Magmar to my party. And I'm gonna buy how many Pokeballs do I need? Oh yeah. I need 17 Pokeballs, so buy another 9 Pokeballs and we are all good to go. Yeah, the Pokemon Center. I actually forgot to change boxes before depositing my party. Now Red's Repel has worn off. So now that we're in a new PC box, good, properly deposit Dragonite, Blastoise, and Mew in there. I need box 6 because that contains the entire Bellsprout line that I need to transfer over. And Red's got to deposit his recent captures. Since he already moved to box 10. And box 4 here contains the last Pokemon I need for my trade. And Professor Oak both times told me to trade with somebody. Oh yeah, I need to pick up an Electabuzz from box 9. And Blue's gonna duplicate Hitmonlee. Remember that I need 2 copies of I need 2 Hitmonlees and 2 Hitmonchans, so I'm gonna duplicate one in each game. One that I get a keep in my party, and the other that I plan on trading away alongside the rest of these duplicates. So I'm just proving that, okay, it's all worked out in the box with the duplication. So I have Hitmonlee in my party and Hitmonlee in my box. So just need to heal up and save my game in front of the Link Cable lady. And that's it for blue version. Fish 2 minutes ahead of red. I need to add Scyther to my party. Looks like I need one more, I think. No, I think I'm good. So now I gotta save my game. 121 all. Wait a minute. Oh, right, I forgot I needed... Remember, I played red first, so I have to save a step away from the PC. And then I have to deposit Hitmonchan. And the rest of the part of my party are Pokemon I already caught second copies of, so I'm depositing this Hitmonchan. Change boxes, 30 frames later. And Momo Truth, is this successful? 30 frames? Well, I have Hitmonchan and I'm right at the PC, so that's a pretty good sign. Yep, Hitmonchan's in the PC as well, so the duplication worked. I now have a copy to keep and a copy to trade away, which we're gonna do next time on my perfect playthrough of Pokemon Red and Blue. So if you like this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I greatly appreciate it. Next time we're trading and battling Giovanni. With that all the way, this is Mike Gordon signing out.